So this guy needs no introduction, but I'm still going to introduce him because there's some of you who still don't know who he is. That is very bad. This is Steph Kapela, one of the dopest artists, from East Africa, from Kenya, and one of my favorite. Like, I love his music so much. Every time I hear his music on the radio, on TV, anywhere, it literally makes me happy. Like, I just want to bop my head. And I think it's your style and it's your vibe. And thank you so much for talking to VIP Access on this very wonderful morning.
Yes, thank you for having me. Niliona episodes kadhaa and I was like, when am I going to be on this? Anyiko, I thought we were friends.
So me and Steph Kapela are actually onto a very interesting project which is called Mook.Africa and Mook Fest, which is happening on the 27th of July, which is going to be a Friday. And Steph, you're actually going to be dropping some exclusive singles of your upcoming album. So tell me about that. Tell us about that. Which songs and why?
We figured that we want to give the fans something that they can like kind of vibe to and show them what to expect to come in the album. We're going to be releasing about 4 or 5 singles from the album, and we're excited. I mean, Mook has been like a platform that we've been working with from the very beginning. And so even for this chance just to be out here and, actually like perform for them and like get to sell something at very cheap, mununue, like it's something that I'm really excited about.
Gotta get to work, man, you gotta get it right, alright. No, you gotta fight, man, in the mirror when you see him on sight. KO night night. Who knew chasing dreams could take on?
Is it album number 1? And what is the name of the album? What should we expect?
It's gonna be a journey, and it's like snapshots into like my life and things that I've gone through. The album is called The Prodigal African. And so just like the story of the prodigal son, he leaves home, he goes to a foreign land, he enjoys himself, lives to the fullest, runs into some issues, whatever, ends up coming back home. But the story never continues. That's where the story ends. The father receives him and it's all great, but the story never goes on. And, like that's very applicable in my life. And I felt like it was something that I wanted to share my story to, to my fans, to people who love listening to me. This is my debut album. So critics, Owoko ngojeni sophomore, mnaweza ongea. In the meantime, just buy, enjoy, and, spread the word.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that some time back, probably a year back, you fell out with your former partner, former music producer, and I mean, it must have set you back a little, but then Steph is here and producing new music. So when you look back at that time and this time, are there any particular changes in your sound, in your music, or even as a person, like in terms of running your business that you've taken up?
We're not necessarily friends, but I respect him and I respect the work he's done. I respect the work he's doing. He's brilliant. He's going to make a mark in Kenya and beyond, I'm sure. But I learned a lot, in terms of business, in terms of what's required, in terms of even sound-wise, and what works well with me, and what I want to expand on, and what I want to take away. Right now I'm independent, but I'm working with several creators and stuff. But my main go-to guys are Caliban Creatives. That's my team. Those are my people. So it taught me how to maneuver and how to be flexible, in an industry that's very. It's full of characters.
Keep it real, na kuwata kama Messi. Roundy, nime chill, nimeacha misichezi.
At this level where you are, Steph Kapela has a name, has a brand, is performing on big stages. What do you think is the next, big move that you need to kind of get you where you actually are going?
I think our biggest concern is how well our marketing is, and how strategically, not even so much as just throwing money at it, but figuring out exactly how to get to our target audience. This dream for me has always been to be a global star. I've always wanted to make music for the world, and I have to figure out a way to market myself and get myself out there as much as possible. This is an age of social media. I do have to admit I have a little bit of weakness when it comes to social media, marketing. I'm just not the guy with the phone 24/7.
But I'm the girl. I could be your publicist if you talk to me nicely.
We have talked about this. This is definitely happening. If let me get this on camera. If my dear Anyiko doesn't charge me an arm and a leg because I only have one of each.
For the record, I would be proud to be your publicist, and we'll talk off camera.
Thing on my neck got me chain smoking. Nothing is free but the chain's broken. I read your body, the page so. G90 pay on my brain so. Speed it up.
When I think of international songwriters like Party Next Door, even Neo, like I'm putting you on that level. Can you imagine? Like, have you ever thought of branding yourself also as a songwriter?
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I had a smile there.
Like, let me gas myself.
Kiasi too. Now, yes, I do consider myself a songwriter. I've written songs for a few people, but yes, I honestly I think of myself as a bridge. I think of myself as a bridge from international to local, like even age groups, like like I'm not that young but I'm not old, so like I like the fact that I used to listen to like Ogopa, I used to listen to like Caliph records and whatever they loved and what these new kids love, like I can find a way to bridge both of them together, because at the end of the day it's just evolution of music. It's not like we're doing something so different now that they didn't do. And yeah, maybe I need to do better branding as far as like a songwriter. I probably need to work on that a little bit better. Yeah.
Hilarious. So actually, from this interview, we've derived that Steph needs me as his publicist, and I said he's a gateway. He said he's a bridge. So we're actually already on the same wavelength. I do appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to the album. Looking forward to the songs dropping at the Mook Fest, and looking forward to becoming your publicist. Keep sounding so fresh. Keep looking so good. And VIP Access is going to come to you guys next week with yet another superstar A-lister.